I did not hit her. It's not true. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
2008 called, man. It wants its meme back.
It's relevant now. It'll be relevant forever.
Okay, so what was... hello, everyone. It's been a little while. I didn't say everyone. I said hello, everyone. Welcome to the Grease and Oil Podcast with your host, not Matt, and also not Matt. No one here is named Matt, as far as I know. But we do have an interesting subject here, which I didn't realize we'd be talking about. But now we need a subject to talk about, so let's talk about this subject. What was that Tommy Wiseau Joker video thing? What was that?
That was Tommy Wiseau's audition, to be the Joker.
And he really did it. Did he actually send it to Warner Brothers or something, or was it a joke?
Dude, why do you always want to know what is going on with Tommy Wiseau? You can't explain anything that he does. The whole point, the reason he's famous is he doesn't make any sense, and you try to justify it.
Well, because everyone needs justification, unless you're Hitler. And even then, he had justification in his mind, but, so do you. And, now I've just compared you to Hitler, but I think that's a fair comparison. Which, you disagree, perhaps, but...
So I recently bought The Disaster Artist on DVD, finally. It finally came out.
Wait, do they make DVDs still?
I think so, I don't know.
Is it the digital DVD Blu-ray combo pack, or was it just... Oh, okay, right. See, because the thing that always pisses me off is, I don't think they sell individual DVDs anymore.
Oh, they do.
No, but what I'm saying, if you want to buy a DVD, don't you have to buy a Blu-ray and it comes with a DVD?
No, they also had just the DVD option.
Really?
Yeah.
So, okay, well that's... Huh. Okay, so what I'm getting at is, do you remember 10 years ago, if you get a DVD and it was a really strong plastic and it was robust and it didn't break, you get a DVD case now and it's it's plastic wrap and lunch meat paper and some it's one frame of plastic. There's no fucking plastic in there, and you could tear it apart in 2 seconds. It's super cheap because no one buys them anymore.
Yeah, I try not to buy DVDs from Amazon because they always come shattered.
The disc?
No, the case.
Oh, okay. Because that guy buy a DVD and it's shattered like glass. I don't think that's how that works. Because I remember I bought Toy Story 3 in November of 2010 or something, and I bought the Amazon, and it arrived, and the DVD case was completely slashed in half, fucking Wolverine used it as his butt plug or something. It was ridiculously torn up, and I never understood what happened.
Yeah, we had to do these movie reports in school a couple of years ago, and I let somebody borrow my DVD of shit.
Oh, yes. This classic story. Tell them this. This is good.
We had to do these reports on a historical film, and I had Schindler's List on DVD, and I let somebody else borrow it because they were doing that project. And when I got it back, the DVD, the disc is fine, but the case is it looks like it's been through the washer and dryer because it had just been in this person's backpack for a month. And I'm haven't those people been through enough? You had to ruin their DVD case.
Those people. Yeah. Speaking of those people, I just wrapped up on a production of Anne Frank. I never actually specified, because I posted that picture of me on Twitter in the Nazi outfit, but I never actually told anyone what it was for or why I was wearing gauntly, almost Jack Skellington-esque makeup. Yeah, I'm not an actual Nazi, Jacob. Ha ha ha, very funny. I was a fucking Nazi on the show in which I got to scream Judendrachen, which I'm pretty sure means Jewish scum in German. So that's really fun. But Turtles, have you ever been a part of I know the answer to this. Have you ever been in a school play when you were in kindergarten or something?
So I have that picture of you saved because I knew you would...
You want to use it against me.
Well, I knew you'd one day regret posting it because you shouldn't... why would you post something like that? Like, it's a picture of your real self. Like, if I did that, it would be questionable. But you posted an actual photo of like yourself. Like, I know there's another person who was going to make a video where he was like, where basically he was going to be dressed as Hitler, and it was going to be a joke. It was this is a long story, but he told me he never released it because he didn't want like images of him dressed as a Nazi like to be just out, that could be used against him. So,
Yeah, but no one used pictures of Mel Brooks as a Nazi out of context against him.
you're not Mel Brooks.
I didn't say I was. I'm just saying
Nobody knows who you are except for
nobody.
hey, it's that
Nobody.
dude who dressed up, who I have pictures of dressed as a Nazi. If you saw Mel Brooks dressed as a Nazi, you'd think, oh, he's doing a movie or something. If somebody just sees you...
If someone sees me on Twitter in the context of Twitter, to my Twitter followers, not the entire world, just the people who chose to follow me on the internet and see the goings-on of my life, knowing my context, they would not look at that picture and go, oh, he hates Jewish people.
I'm not talking about people that know the context. I'm talking about the whole world. And the whole world doesn't know you make videos on YouTube.com.
But the whole world isn't going to see that picture.
Not if I have anything to do about it.
Say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to say about it? Okay, here's the real question. The real hard-hitting question is, why is Wooden Railway Mike labeled as Mike, but Bert is Bert the miniature engine?
Because there is also Bert the standard gauge diesel engine, and there's no other Mike that needs clarification from. Because imagine how confused parents would be if they saw Arian Bert and Bert next to each other on the pegs.
Imagine how confused parents would be in the year 1999. Oh, what are your kids' favorite toys? What's this guy's name? D199. What about this one? QLDE? Cool. What's about the Fred Pele? What about Sodor Railway Repair? What's his actual name? No, his name is just Sodor Railway Repair. Like this.
I have a question.
I find the naming of things so bizarre.
I have a question. Where on earth do people get the idea that Fred Pelhay's name is pronounced Pele?
It's phonetic looking.
No, it's not. It's Pelhay, I think.
Pele. Looks like Pele.
Pelhay. Why would the H does not precede the L? Why would it's Pel? Okay, if you saw the letters Pel, would you read it as pale or pale?
Okay, look. This is coming from the same guy. Me. I am the person who thought that the episode Toby's Tightrope was Toby's Tripod until about 7 years ago. And I don't know why I thought it was called Toby's Tripod. I still never know where I got that idea from, but when I first saw the episode and read the Railway series book when I was a very small child, something in my head saw that and said, hey, it says tripod, like the camera stand. Toby has a tripod. And it just clicked when I was in like 5th grade or something. Oh, tightrope, like a tightrope walker in a circus, and that's what happens in the story.
Well, everyone is a little bit on the spectrum, somewhere. Like
everyone is a little bit dyslexic, autistic, gay, whatever. All these horrible diseases.
They're all part of one big community.
Play that audio, that quote, and then with the picture of me in the Nazi outfit. With that laugh also.
You make yourself look bad. Like, I don't have to do any work. I just help.
I know. I say everything sarcastically and then people take it as legitimacy. Like well, actually I don't want to get into that one. Never mind. What did you do today, Turtles? How was your day?
Oh, it's been okay. I had
Are you still on spring break?
No. So I'm back now, but I had a snow day today.
You had a snow day. Okay, wow.
Because down here in Nebrahoma, it snows a whole lot.
I was this close to having a rain day fucking flooding. It's so... And in California, we had rains? Ha ha ha, it's like a desert. Everyone's... No.
It had been raining for weeks. Everywhere was wet, wet, wet.
I like how your Alec Baldwin impression sounds like Liam Neeson after finding out that his daughter has been stolen.
It had been raining for weeks. I will find you.
I'll tell you what a fat little pig you are!
Yeah. Little green piggy in the middle.
Okay, I can't come up with anything after that. That's good.
So is the podcast over?
What if we just uploaded a 10-minute episode? Should we just end the episode right there? Okay, that means we're still recording this. Never mind. Forget you ever heard that, people. Would you... Oh, I know. Would you like to... You didn't really... Oh, you did a live stream, I guess, but no one watched the live stream. So, would you like to document or sort of go over your amazing anime crossover with Enterprising that happened this past week?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. So he.
So how did it happen? What was the setup? How did it go?
Well, I'm not gonna get a whole lot into it, but basically, he does not live like close to me. People are always like, "Oh my God, you guys live in the same town?" Like, we would be meeting up all the time if we lived nearby.
He would live in your basement. Probably,
pretty much, yeah.
He wouldn't have to pay rent because you would never let him out of there.
No, he had to go far, but he was also visiting other people, so it worked out. But yeah, I finally convinced him to come when he did, and we hung out and filmed a bunch of stuff. We got footage for a couple of his videos, and we filmed a few weeks worth of videos for me that'll be coming out, and it's been lit.
So grasping at straws for content here. Oh man, we should play a game. This is completely unprepared. This is, if you couldn't tell, this is a very impromptu episode, folks.
I woke up like 15 minutes before this recording started.
Why does that not surprise me?
Well, I was like asleep, and then I only woke up because Vinnie called me, and he's like, "Hey, time for the podcast," and I'm like, "Okay, just give me like 25 minutes," and I closed my eyes, and then I opened them again, and it had been like half an hour. I'm like, crap. So, woo.
He's been lured into it again. What is? Ooh, okay. What is your most not because I like Magic Railroad because it's ironically whatever bizarre, but what is your most genuine, like, what is the special you think is the best genuinely? Thomas special.
Well, I mean, everybody says The Adventure Begins.
Yeah,
but I don't.
Feels kind of phony.
Well, it's like, you explain too much. Well, I mean, everybody would, I don't think that's fair because that's just a Railway series adaptation. My favorite, like, original special is Lost Treasure.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I still don't understand when people say, "Oh, Lost Treasure has too many characters. I like Tale of the Brave."
Okay, so
really, that one?
Lost Treasure is the only special that doesn't have any characters shoehorned into it. Like, Tale of the Brave.
They're all
like,
there. They're all there
do?
for a reason.
What does Reg do in Tale of the Brave?
He says something about James.
I'm really asking. I've never seen Tale of the Brave.
Wait, are you kidding?
No, I've never seen it.
Have you seen King of the Railway?
Yeah.
Do you see Journey Beyond Sodor?
Okay, I'm going to stop your questions and just say Tale of the Brave is the only one I haven't seen.
You watched Journey Beyond Sodor, but you didn't watch Man.
I was really not keeping up with Thomas at the time, which is funny because that was right when I was making SudCon for the first time, but I was not keeping up with the... I don't know why I never caught the film, but I still have not seen it.
It's a solid B-, and I think people blow it out of proportion as to how incredible it is, because it's really not that crazy.
Anyway, what was I saying? So Connor and Caitlin, like, why are they in King of the Railway? Like, they don't really... and then of course Great Race is just like the explosion of too many characters.
And that's the only positive thing that I can say about what we get to see of the new show, whatever, big world, big adventures. That's the only thing I can say is that they're actually using the characters, at least some of the characters that were in the film that they never got used in. Like, that's something that the TV show, the only thing that the TV show can actually say that they do now. And they did it, a bit before, like you're saying, Caitlin and Connor and Reg never did anything in their films, but they got episodes to themselves in order to flesh out their characters. And I'm not saying that Yang Bao or Ashima will have their characters fleshed out in this new television show, but like, at least they're not completely dropping them and making up 48 new characters. They're only making up 30.
Well, to paraphrase what Mr. Plinkett said once, nobody cares about all these extended universe stories and all these side episodes and books. What matters is the movies. What I'm saying is nobody cares about when we're talking about the specials. I don't care if Connor got an episode in season 18 that explained why he's whatever. What matters is, was his inclusion in the special necessary?
Nah, fam, he wasn't.
So, anyway, Lost Treasure is the only special to date, pretty much, that uses all of its characters correctly and to their full use in the film.
What about Max and Monty?
Oh, yeah.
Think they needed to be in that one?
Yeah, because they helped build the thing.
Yeah, but Reg helped pick up the scrap.
That's different. Because Max and Monty are cool.
Max and Monty are fucking
And Donald
cool.
and Douglas definitely needed to be in like 2 scenes of that movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna act like they aren't shoehorned in, but at least they give a very vague reason for being there. Actually, that Reg is probably the worst.
Here's the thing.
So I'd probably think of a better one, but Reg is probably the worst offender of the no reason to be there, because it's not like Merrick, for example. I just said that name out loud for the first time in a million years, and it doesn't sound right. Merrick, that's a name.
What about Derek?
No, fuck Derek. Okay, Derek is a national treasure. He is a beautiful child that will be bestowed by who, I don't know what is bestowed.
Shut up, God. Just like, if you don't have something to say, you shouldn't be talking.
But that's the point of the fucking podcast.
I know. I try to make it a little less terrible when I come on.
Okay, well, make it terrible. Go. Or make it less terrible.
I had something to say. What were we just talking about with
Lost treasure? Reg.
Derek. It's gone. I don't know. Keep talking. I'll think about it. Oh, I remember now. Donald and Douglas. Donald and Douglas. That's what we were saying. So, I'm not gonna be the unlucky turtle and complain about how, like, oh my God, they were in the movie and Duck makes a reference to how they weren't used anymore in the series, and you get it, it's like meta, And I'm not gonna be like, I hate that they did that, because like,
I think that's kind of funny though, that they're self-aware.
Yeah, but no, it sucks because it's fan service. Like, whatever, dude.
I don't know, like I look at it like the newer Muppet movies. Like they reference themselves, they reference the studio, the studio ordered a sequel. Let's make an entire 5-minute musical number that doesn't add to the plot. Nothing happens in the beginning of Muppets Most Wanted. The whole point is that they're joking about how Disney likes to make money off of properties that the public is familiar with. That's the whole point of the musical number, and it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like including that little joke isn't a sin for Donald and Douglas by any means, because it's like, yeah, where the fuck were you guys this whole time?
Which, although, I mean, I don't feel like they were the best choice to, like, use that joke with, because they weren't gone for that long. They were in season 12. I want Duke, if he were ever to come back, because where is where has he been? I was at like in my new video where I got Mexican food with Matt at one point, and we were in the middle of eating, and I just like
Are there Mexican restaurants in Nebrahoma?
yes,
Wow, that's impressive.
and I just put my fork down. I looked at him, and I was like, "Where is Duke?" Like that. That just that just drives me crazy how he just disappeared and then nobody ever acknowledges it again. Like where was he? Where is he?
They did the exact same thing they did with Duke with Sir Handel, except they brought Sir Handel back and they gave him a reason to be gone. They said he went to the slate quarry for bad behavior and he came back a changed man. And that's true because he's like a super boring, bland character in like season 10 and 11 and whatever the fuck he was in.
Well, see, what people don't really understand after season 8, it's not just that they brought on writers that don't understand the show, which is true, but that's not the only.
That's season 6, man.
I really like season 6.
I love season 6, but there's a lot of very strange lines of dialogue that were written by people who are not Britt or David.
Little green piggy in the middle. I did not hit her.
Okay, all right, Tommy. All right.
Okay, so
Tommy Wiseau in front.
Tommy should totally be the voice of Arian Burt in my series.
Oh my God! Yes, can you get? yeah, because you can just like everyone lives in Nebrahoma, enterprising.
Buffer and Burt.
Wise. Wait, maybe is that okay? Is that why no one knows where Tommy Wiseau actually grew up, or was his country of origin is because he from Nebrahoma? Can we say this?
No, he's from Louisiana, or no, excuse me, he's from
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what I was thinking. So,
Duke.
Oh,
Arian
so
Burt.
no, I was
Dude,
saying the
writers.
reason. So the
Season
reason. Shut up, Jesus! Just don't talk. Let me finish. So, the reason that like post season 8 is bad is not. It's not just the fact that the writers don't know what they're doing. It's that the show was off the air for a while, and if I remember correctly, I think Thomas Merchandise on Twitter said this, or somebody I read that basically. For Thomas to go back on the air, they had to go through these certain, they had to jump through these certain hoops that were now expected of children's programming. So they basically had to start off as like acting like they're a new show, and there was more a push to make children's programming like educational, whereas before it was more just like freelance whatever. So that's part of why the show got dumbed down and made it more like. That's the reason that Calling All Engines has those like problem solving sections in it.
There's new requirements set or new restrictions set on the PBS.
Yeah.
Kids.
So basically, just imagine Thomas. Post season 8, they had to act like it's a new show that's not based on any books or anything. It's just a new thing. So when they brought in like the Skarloey Railway, they had to give a justification for it. And the reason that some of the characters didn't get reused is because, honestly, most of the Skarloey Railway characters are kind of redundant to each other. Like, a lot of them have the same personality.
I know there is, but I can't tell you the personality difference between Peter, Sam, and Rheneas.
Yeah, see? Like, Rheneas, Skarloey, Peter, Sam, and Rusty.
I'm talking about the TV show, not the Railway series. All they have nuances and whatever, but those are different characters.
They're just all like, there's like the nice, humble one, and then there's the grouchy old man. That's every character on the Skarloey Railway. So the part of why they never brought back Duke, because Sir Handel basically became okay. So like. Duncan absorbed Sir Handel's old personality, and then Sir Handel became Duke's personality, and then they brought in Freddie as a competitor for Sir Handel. So they're it's just like imagine.
I don't think Duke would have added anything if they brought him back.
Yeah, because imagine bringing in Duke when you already have Old Man Sir Handel and Freddie. And then there's, so it's like the grumpy kind of wise old man, and then there's Duncan, his just Duncan, like he's always been, but with more of Sir Handel's like anger. And then every other character is like the humble, kind of wise character.
Or just the fastest engine in the hills. I mean, I don't.
How can I make the children's party really special?
I genuinely don't think that they saw any of the characters other than maybe Freddy as old and wise after season 6.
Yeah, it's
kind of a clean slate situation.
And I get it, Slate.
Yeah, that was the joke.
Turtles. But so that's why Duke didn't reappear. But I'm asking, like, within the universe of the show, where did he go? If it's all supposed to be one continuity.
Anyone who's listening to this podcast, probably this sounds like something Annie C might do. Actually, well, Enterprising never did anything like this because he's always had Duke in his series. But someone who has their own Thomas fan series, make an episode explaining what the hell happened to Duke after season 4. Like give it like a reason and punch it up with some jokes and send it over. Send it over here. Mail us a VHS tape to Grease and Oil Incorporated.
Email me if you want a pizza roll.
Yes, so I'm using the Dan Schneider approach, which is to reach out to small children for them to send me content.
Oh, that guy does more than just reach out to children.
He reaches out and touches children.
Yeah, so now I believe you're mistaken because people don't make like videos anymore. It's just about like making memes.
Oh, well, who would ever make a meme about Thomas the Choo Choo Train?
You see, because people in the Thomas community in 2018 don't really make videos. Well, like a few of them do, but we've all moved over to Twitter where there's a lot more instant gratification for content and the standards are much lower. So
true.
All you have to do is just make like a really lame, unfunny like picture collage and post it and you'll get like 200 likes, and it's the exact same kind of endorphin rush that you get from like a good video, except you didn't actually make anything. And that's why the community is dead.
See, there's no joke there.
I'm not kidding.
100% factual.
I'm just really disappointed because everybody just wants to make memes now and like, yeah, hilarious, but I don't like them enough that they should overtake making videos entirely.
Overtake me? Okay, never mind. Bad time for a Thomas and the Jet Engine reference. Is there ever a good time for a Thomas and the Jet Engine reference? I don't think so.
On your wedding night.
I do remember I made a Percy takes the plunge joke with my first girlfriend in freshman year of high school. And of course she didn't get it, but I remember I texted it to you and you thought it was actually very clever, and I was like, that's the first time Turtles has ever complimented me on everything. I'm so proud.
What was the joke?
So she was in LA for spring break, and we were also going to LA, and she was like, oh, if you hypothetically go, we should, do something there. And I was like, yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then I found out, oh, wait, we're actually going to LA. So I texted her, we're actually going to come down and whatever. Oh, we're saying blah, 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 blah. The whole spiel happened. And I said something about, or she said, like, I don't know if we should go to the beach today, man. The water's really cold. And I was like, water's nothing to an engine with determination. And I actually texted that sentence to her. And she was like, what the fuck, engine? What the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, the fans will get it. And
did she know about your channel at the time?
I don't do the MPS approach, which is completely never tell anyone what I do, or the Turtles approach. But like MPS has had
people know.
Okay, the people like that are in his videos, like the like his dorm. I'm talking about like high school. He specifically told me that his whole MPS basement persona. Everyone's got a basement except for me. But his whole basement situation, no one knew that he had a whole Thomas Twitter where his profile picture is him smirking holding a Thomas the Choo Choo Train toy. No one knows about that, including his past girlfriends. So he somehow managed to have a legitimate relationship with someone and completely hide the fact that his whole place is decked out with Thomas stuff in the basement. And
I feel
whatever.
like that would come up at some point.
Because MPS is, of course, the kind of girl that would... the kind of guy who would bring a girl down into his basement. I think that's something that he would do frequently.
Well, I'm just saying, like, would it be weirder to be like, hey, so I run this YouTube channel, and the trick for explaining this to people is you don't just say, hey, my basement is full of trains and I have a channel and blah, blah, blah. What you do is you start from the beginning. Like, I got out of the trains one day when I was like, 10 or 11. And
yeah, that's what I do. Exactly. I started a YouTube account when I was in 4th grade, and I just never really stopped. And Thomas the Choo Choo Train gets a lot of views, so here I am. That's how I explain it.
Yeah,
to people,
you got to explain it you got to tell the story as it happened. You don't just start with like the end. This isn't like, you don't start with Darth Vader and then go back and say like, so he started as a little boy, or
who would ever do that? Why would you start from the end and then go back? That's really dumb, Turtles. Don't suggest things that no one's gonna do that. Like, why even bother?
Well, anyway, what I'm saying is, would it be weirder if you did that, or if you were like, if someone was like, hey, I'm gonna go downstairs and like get a drink or something, and then they just turn on the lights.
Don't! Trains! Stop!
And they turn on the lights and just like, that
and
scene.
they have the light switch has a trigger, and when it gets flicked, it starts playing the engine roll call through every speaker in the house.
No, well, like, the scene in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where all the robots are like, Willy Wonka, the amazing chocolatier.
God damn it. That song has been stuck in my head since I saw that movie in 2005 in the cinema. I think it was probably my 5th movie that I saw. I remember the first movie I ever saw. And this is such a meme thing to say, and I know it's like you're anti-meme or whatever, but I'm dead ass. I'm not joking. The first movie I ever saw in the theaters was Shrek 2.
Me too.
No way.
I think so.
No way. Dead ass? Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Okay, well, you're a year older than me, though, so what the... Wait, what? Oh, that's whack! Oh my god! And then I saw Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and my mom decided... Because, again, the little... Okay, so the first... I am the oldest child. I'm the eldest of my family. And Zoe, who appears in some of my videos, she's the second. There are 2 children in the family. I am the oldest, and as the
2 living
oldest,
children.
2. Okay, well, there's the third one. We don't talk about Steve anymore. But okay, so as being the trial, as the guinea pig child that I am and still am, you go through a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, I've reached this point. Like, I've been alive long enough to like unlock this achievement point, which is like, get to go to a movie, get to have a cell phone, get to have a girlfriend, etc., etc. You reach that point where it's like, I can unlock this thing. It's like a video game or something. And when it comes to younger kids, the second, third, fourth, whatever child you have in the family, they don't give a shit anymore. At least with my parents, it's like, all right, so it was a big step, he changed from diapers to shitting in a toilet now. It's really impressive. Blah blah. With Zoe, it was just like, yeah, she shat. Cool, good for her. She can produce fecal matter. That's amazing. Good for her. Like, it was a whole but for me it was like a whole big thing, and we gotta fucking. I gotta. My dad said, you can have anything you want if you can take a poo-poo in the potty. And I walked upstairs, took a massive shit, and said, give me wooden Cranky the Crane, asshole. And so we drove right to Oh, that's so sad, because Toys R Us isn't around anymore. And that's where I got Cranky the Crane in 2004.
Toys R Us is still open.
Yeah, but for only a couple months, I'd imagine.
I went to one last weekend, and they didn't even have anything on sale.
Is that... What do you mean? Oh, because, right, going on a bit... Right. I feel like the company isn't... I feel like if Mattel was somehow decided... If Mattel went bankrupt, they would be in denial of it until the very end. Like if Wooden Railway ever comes back, which I don't think Wooden Railway will ever come back. Wood's doing whatever. But if Wooden Railway ever does come back, they will. Mattel will never actually announce it until the very last second, because they'll still keep pushing the whole change is a good thing. Shut the fuck up, parents and fans and complainers of Thomas and Friends Wood. Wood is this, Wood is that. They'll keep pushing Wood until the very end, in which they go, okay, we're not going to admit to our mistakes, but here's that thing you brought back, you want, so we're bringing it back. But they're not bringing back Thomas and Friends.
Do we actually know how well Wood is doing?
Terribly. I don't know who follows who. You follow Jason, right?
Yeah.
Jason posts like stocks and statistics and shit all the time, and it's always down. It's always Mattel's negative. There's no increase in sales. It's not like ever since they made Thomas and Friends Wooden Railway more progressive by removing everything that made it cool. It's not like it's not as if suddenly everything is like, oh, it clicked, now we're making more money. Everything is lower. The money they spent is a smaller number. The money they earn is a smaller number. The only number that's not smaller is the price of the item itself, which has gone up significantly. And it's just bizarre to just about everyone. Parents, fans, children who don't want to play with a half-painted toy and are confused why they could make a custom model that looks better than the factory-produced Chinese result,
No, this dude posted a video on Twitter recently that was, I guess it was a joke, but he's like really sloppily painting a wood diesel with like black paint.
I saw that.
And it was like, even though he did a crap job, like on purpose,
it was satisfying as hell.
Yeah, it was so satisfying to like watch the backside get like, be painted over.
It was so satisfying to watch all the cracks get filled in with black.
Yeah.
That's what Turtles is implying by this statement. Did you, Turtles, I don't know if this isn't a good time to ask this, but, only because our amazing fan base of about 38 12-year-olds that all probably live in Manhattan for some reason. I don't know why. We have a big New York following for some. We looked at the statistics. Anyways, have you ever had I feel like you're the kind of guy that only had one girlfriend in his life, if he ever had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend was like a 6'8", like huge black chick who plays like basketball or something. Is that true?
Yeah, that's me.
Wait, are you the 6'8" black girl? Oh my god, you play basketball?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, honey child.
Would you like some watermelon and fried chicken? Because this is the stereotype. Ha ha ha. Black people are funny. Ha ha ha. Like, okay, move on. I find that's like half of the meme accounts that I follow on Instagram are like, isn't it funny that black people like fried chicken? Like, that's such a 1938 joke with, a big cartoon black guy with huge red lips and whatever.
Yeah, that's why I don't follow all the stupid, unfunny meme pages like you.
See, you have self-control, except for when it comes to, like, suicidal tweets. That's something I'll never go into. But
okay,
you are like the Steve Jobs of suicidal tweets. Like, you are the king, man. You are Elvis. Good work.
I am the Steve Garcia of... No.
You are the Eric Pierre 53.
No, but
oh man.
You should see my drafts, dude. It's even worse.
Do you save shit that you don't like post? So wait, what you're saying is the stuff that gets out is the good stuff? Oh my god, dude, there is a whole arc. Someday you're gonna post like a book. Like they made that. I've been looking for that. They made a book of like the art of SpongeBob or something, and it's like, analytically looking at SpongeBob and whatever. They're gonna make like the art of at Turtles and Thomas or something, and it's just gonna be like all the deleted tweets, and you're gonna like interviews from Turtles, or what's your name? Tom Turtson? Is that your birth name?
Yeah.
Tom Turtson. It's gonna be interviews from the Tom Turtson. It's like, yeah, so this one, I really used a lot of strong diction. The tone here is very interesting because the thematic elements that we used in this tweet. But, it was probably a little too edgy for my Twitter following, which is, 9-year-old kids from Nebraska.
I think most of my audience is like unemployed Dutch dudes.
Really?
I don't know.
I found that my viewership, at least when I was looking at it in, I think this was like August or September, there are more again, I don't think this is accurate, but according to YouTube statistics, I have a larger female demographic than male demographic, which
no, you don't.
I don't believe that. I think
it's just kids on their mom's account.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because that was me for a very long time, 10 years ago, But that's the only explanation that I have, because it was whatever I think like in they show a pie chart, and like men are blue and women are orange because feminist women can't be pink or whatever the whole thing is, but like I just found it so weird because it was like majority of the circle was like an orange circle with about 35% blue, and I was like, what the fuck? Because Thomas the Tank Engine it's a pretty gender neutral brand, but no one would argue that there are more little girls that watch Thomas.
Dude, I'm looking
no
at
one thinks that.
I just looked at my analytics, and my audience is 80% male.
And the other 20% are 8-year-old boys who don't have a Google account yet, so they use their mom's email.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's the thing that I find it's a good idea for the whole, changing Rosie and making her red and, not because, she's the girl engine, so she should be pink. Like, that's a pretty dumb idea on the surface level, but, like, at the same time, like, I remember when I was younger, and I would ask my sister, who's your favorite Thomas character? And she knew she wasn't into Thomas, but when she was little, she knew enough about the show so that it wasn't like Thomas the Who. Like, that's my thing that my brother likes. Like, she knew enough about it in the characters. Who's your favorite characters? Coldy, Lady, and Rosie. What's the correlation between those three characters? The fucking color of purple and pink. There is a reason that little girls' toys and clothes and marketing are all pink and purple. It's because they like that color.
That's sexist.
But no, we can't. No, I think the new Rosie model looks really cool, and it is kind of dumb just to say, well, why is Rosie's color pink? Because she's the girl one. Like, that is dumb. But there's also a decent amount, there's a reason that the Drayton Manor Thomas models, not Thomas models, the Thomas, the big Thomases that they have going around, the trains they have going around the park.
We get it. Oh my god.
Thomas, Percy, and Rosie. There's a reason that there isn't Billy or Stanley or whoever was popular at the time when they made that. There is a Rosie because, we need a girl character.
Well, yeah, it's the Lego Friends situation where
exactly.
Lego Friends. For those of you that don't know, Lego Friends is like a girl aimed Lego theme that uses like mini dolls instead of regular Lego minifigures, and all the sets are like pink or purple, like pastels. And when those came out, everybody was like, oh my god, this is so, blah, blah, blah. It's offensive or whatever. But Lego Friends sells extremely well, and it is extremely popular with little girls because
big shocker, yeah.
Because however offensive you find it that they make a girl's toy pink, little girls really like pink toys.
And I think
the marketing shows.
That's the takeaway. That's why Tugs didn't take off, because the only female character was fucking Sally Seaplane, who was a plane that someone at Shepperton Studios had a Sharpie and they drew on big red lips and said, she's female. I find
Why
that
do you
so
keep
weird.
doing like a George Lucas impression for like every?
This is not what George Lucas sounds like. This is really more like Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy. That's not George. That's not George. Wait, what George? Carlin? Costanza? Lucas! That one. My brain's racing a mile a minute because I just snorted a bunch of cocaine. So that's probably why you're so irritated with my speech patterns as of always, actually. Probably always. Yeah, always.
Well, because you use about 15 times more words to communicate your thoughts than you need.
That's what everyone tells me. What a big shocker.
Because it's like, most people would be like, it's hot outside, and you would be like, okay, so like, you know, when you go outside, like when you walk, when you walk outside your house, like when you're not inside but you're outside, and you feel like with not like you see it or smell it, but like you feel it, and you can tell like what temperature. Okay, you know that like the temperature. You know when you can tell. You know when you can tell what temperature it is. Well, you know how it's like not. You know how it's like sometimes cold. Well, instead of cold, it's like not. But it's not like, you know how it's like, you know, like it's, you know, like in the Muppets when it's like just right. Well, instead of like just right, it's like hot out instead. That's exactly how it feels outside.
I just realized I mentioned the Muppets twice during this podcast, and completely unrelated. And I've not been watching the Muppets or listening to the Muppets.
You bring them up all the freaking time.
Wait, really?
Oh my god, it's like,
I bring up the Muppets all the time. I didn't know that.
it's in like all your videos. You say like, oh, the Muppets make it look so easy. Like,
That was one video.
okay, but I don't think people are like, I don't think Muppets are as much in the public lexicon as you act as though they are.
I think that is entirely accurate because I was very disappointed. If you look up, like, that's the thing, when Disney bought the rights to the Muppets in like 2005, they're like, what's a good idea for this franchise? Let's do The Wizard of Oz.
You brought up the Muppets twice within 45 minutes.
Okay, well now I'm doing it intentionally because we're on this subject. The first two times it was an accident. I didn't mean to do that. This is intentional now.
That's still a lot.
But like, okay, so I didn't like particularly grow up. I had like one Muppet DVD or something. It wasn't like Thomas and the Muppets, which sounds like one of those weird crossover series.
Oh god,
you remember
like Winnie the Pooh's Adventures of Sorro's Legend of the Lost Treasure.
There was one that was like Mr. Conductor's Adventures. No, Mr. Conductor and Elmo's Adventures in Little Shop of Horrors. And it was like, Schemer's cousin is the dentist from Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, it's like every character in cartoons that has ever existed is like on the cover.
Yeah, oh my god.
It's just like an ocean of characters.
Or Ackley Attacks 47's, or whatever his fucking name is, Adventures in Thomas and the Magic Railroad, also featuring the characters from Lilo and Stitch the show, and VeggieTales, and Bakugan, and fucking Winnie the Pooh. It's always Winnie the Pooh for some reason. I don't get the correlation there.
Yeah.
It's like when you do something cool, like, hey, what's a funny, cool, hip show? SpongeBob SquarePants, not Winnie the Pooh. What the fuck? Winnie the Pooh? That's such a bizarre callback, I think. I don't know. People get discussing that. And there's this new Winnie the Pooh show. New Winnie the Pooh movie starring fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi is in it.
Oh, yeah. And like the raspiest Winnie the Pooh you've ever heard.
And it's not. That's the thing I find so fascinating. It's not even the same guy. It's Jim Cummings, the guy who did all of the voices that you've ever heard in a Disney movie. If you've ever seen a Disney movie from 1990 to 2004, like any character that was animated that wasn't a princess was played by Jim Cummings. Like
Christopher Robin.
But it's like everyone's like, oh my god, the guy who plays Winnie the Pooh is still alive? No, that guy fucking died like 100 years ago. The last thing he did was like The Jungle Book in 1966, but like people are like, oh wow, the Winnie the Pooh guy's still alive. That's so cool. No, he's not. It's the guy who's done every voice for like all those old Disney cartoons.
I can't believe Mel Blanc is still alive.